Today is the long-awaited sequel to 100 Heads in 100 Minutes. This is 100 Hands in 100 Minutes. That's 500 fingers. I got a grip of these. These are the markers I usually draw on, but I put a little tape around here so I know that they're the dried out ones. I like to use these for gesture drawing and stuff. So I'm going to draw with these today. Unless they're too dry, then it's no fun. Let me see. I've got my thing here. It's a little cropped, but it'll make sense in a moment. This is from lineofaction.com. There's a dash between line and of. This is one of the websites that gives you free timed reference. I think Quick Poses is another one. These websites are good. They're good resources. Some of the pictures are hit or miss as far as quality goes, but that's also kind of a good thing because it's not a bad idea to, be able to draw not great references and try to make them great too. Line of Action is nice because they specifically say on their website that you can use it for like streaming and videos and stuff. So, and if anybody wants to draw along, I do recommend it. This is a great exercise. It's important to do this. I mean, maybe not this extreme, but doing 1 minute gesture drawings of hands is a really, really good way to get better. Just get an understanding of it because it forces you to simplify. And when drawing something like hands are really complicated, and if you can simplify them down into a few big shapes, it makes it a lot easier if you're trying to draw them. So this is a good way to do that. So we're just doing hands because we don't want to get kicked off of Twitch because I think there's a foot issue. And all genders, portrait, just so that it'll fit nicely, in this little nook here. And I want 60 seconds for each image, and I want to do 100 of them. So let's get cracking. Oh, right off the bat, the most difficult. This is one of the most difficult hands for me to draw, kind of with the thumb together like that, holding something. I'll draw this apple too. It's gonna make me hungry already. I've only just had breakfast and already my stomach is grumbling. Kind of noticing the reflected light off of the apple on that pinky finger. Not that I'm drawing that right now, but that's just an interesting thing to note for painting time. Give me some easy ones to start with. If any of you do draw along with me, share your pictures in Discord. Oh man. Brutal. I get to doing the minutia, and then I have to remind myself to get more big picture. Break up these into groups of knuckles. And some of these two-hand poses, I'm gonna just choose one hand unless the hands are sort of integrated. In which case, better do both. Get out of bed, be back. All right. Yeah, I don't know what that nan was, Pinecone. That was weird. Oh. Here's a tricky one too. Hello, Emma. Happy Thanksgiving. How's it going? I think for me, for hands, this is one of the areas where Bridgman is actually really good. Bridgman is an interesting sort of way to learn. He's very constructive. He thinks about things as as like machines. He thinks of the body as machines, and he's very into the construction, the structure. And for some of that stuff, it can make your figures stiff, but I think for hands, it's really helpful. Maybe you should look at some Bridgman on stream sometime. I looked at him like every 10 years, or maybe every 5 years. I've tried to understand Bridgman, and then failed, and kind of put it back on the shelf. And then 5 years later, thinking, maybe now I'll get it, and then never did. But I watched this YouTube series, Bridgman Bootcamp, by Marshall Vandruff. He's an art teacher. And after watching that, I finally get I finally get it. It was an exciting revelation a few years ago. That's free on YouTube, but he's interested in that. Interesting how the pinky finger and the pointer finger kind of go in different directions. Nansens were not a number? Oh, really? I had no idea. This one is this one always throws me. Whenever I try to draw this, everything is just way off. Gotta do more drawing of this from life. Or from reference. some sketchy ones here. This is the Street Fighter. Energy Blast. Do one more on this page. All right, take a break for a second. What was that, 12 hands so far? Feeling warmed up. Got look at a bunch of coffee. Is it 13? Oh man, it says 88 more of this length. Am I gonna accidentally draw 101 hands? This whole exercise will be a sham, a farce, a lie. That's okay. I think the it always throws me the thumb and the pointer finger, the relationship here, like in this pose, because here if it's like the thumb is so much shorter, and then when it's going to grasp, like the way that the hand contorts to get these two to touch, it feels like this is way too short whenever I draw it, and it feels like this is way too long. Like in this one, I was thinking it just feels, something feels off about it. It's really difficult to, I think for me, this is like the most difficult pose, something like that. I don't know if any of you hand portraitists have any thoughts on that. But that one is the one that gets me the most. Like the foreshortening like this, it's fine. I think that the hand automatically has like the, remember the perspective study when I had that paper towel roll with the tape around it to see the perspective lens? Like the fingers kind of automatically give you that. And so like in extreme foreshortening, it's not as difficult. But dad, pinch. There's gotta be some easy way to draw this that I just haven't discovered yet. Some kind of shorthand. Thank you. Shishia, thank you. Okay. Round 2. I think with hands as well, the comparative analysis is really important. Like finding where that thumb ends up, I think is a helpful, for me it's a helpful kind of landmark. Like which fingers are the thumb touching, and build around that, especially in this kind of pose. Hey, Miss Daisy D, welcome. I was wondering if anybody in chat is drawing along. I suggest to everybody to draw along with me if you have paper and pen handy. Like I said at the beginning, this is a good exercise. It's a good, quick way to improve at hands. Daisy, are you drawing along? If anybody does draw along, you can share your results if you feel like it in the Discord when We're all done. Best way to get better at drawing anything is just to draw it a bunch of times. Whoa. A tricky one. Gotta draw that pose 100 more times. Crazy watch me hold my pencil like that. This is the overhand grip. This is a good way for good gestural drawing. It, it gives you more flowing lines, and it's also easier to draw from the shoulder, which is a good idea. If I'm inking something, or if I'm going in and drawing little details after this is all done, like if I was going to go in and start drawing all the fingernails and all the lines, I might switch to this or even to this. But for keeping things flowing and gestural, it's a good idea to hold it this way, at least in my experience. But everybody's different. But I do recommend everybody at least try this. See how you like it. Give it an hour or two. Get used to it, because it's I think it is really beneficial. I keep running out of room? I don't think so. I got plenty of room. Let's do the bottom one. Another one where that thumb and that forefinger are touching. Tricky. Man, this dude really loves cutting stuff. All these scissors and knives. Wonder when we get to hand number 100, I hope there's some like really cool cut paper piece that he holds up. The culmination of all of these. Hold on, I want to go back just a sec. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I felt like maybe there's something that should be here that I just didn't see, but no. Okay. That thumb comes in right on top of that middle finger here. So we can see the middle and the pointer both on the left side. Fingers kind of curl inward. It's always a kind of one of the basic things that you learn that is kind of, you know, I find it mind-blowing and gotta always remember it, that the fingers kind of move in towards the middle in this pose, like when the fist is. Maybe not on my hand. Maybe my hands are weird. Oh no, they kind of do. Oh man, look at this. And in here, kind of illustrates that point. And here. There. Huh. Pause this for a second. New page. What does it say? 73 more left. Over a quarter of the way there. Let's see. This is a fun one. Those. Got the overlaps. Thumb was here. Is that cheating? Going in and shoring things up. Now it's 100 hands in 100 100 hands in 100 minutes and 10 seconds. Although actually this is 2 hands. So it averages out. So I'm actually still okay. Let's keep moving. Do the top one. Look at that thumb. That curve. I love this shape here. Through this part. This one is tricky. Not even touching the apple with most of his fingers. I think it's just the pinky and the thumb that are touching the apple. Doing the top one here. Some are both hands in the reference and you draw both hands in the photo. They count as one hand study. I think it counts as two. This is going to be 100 plus hands, I think, Emma. But if the one hand is partially obscuring the other hand, maybe that only counts as half a hand. Or, 5/16 of a hand. Depending. Zillion, thank you for the 200 stream streak. Much appreciated. Since Twitch has been twitchy, I made the executive decision that all the streaks, we just add a 0 to the end. Because it has a habit of not counting. People's streaks sometimes tend to get reset, so I just assume an extra 0. So 200 streams, that's a big one there. Watching the VOD for some amount of time. Oh, really? Interesting. All right. Yeah, does this count as 2 hands or just 1.5? Maybe we got to count the fingers, and that's how we decide how much of it. A lot of apples in these. Tried that watch twice and only saved once. Do you watch me live? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, but that's why we add the 0 to the end. There's something about I guess drawing hands that involves apples. The convenient. I wonder how many of these apples are real. Maybe the photo studios keep like prop apples. Or maybe hand modeling is just really hungry work. They always keep a stash on hand. Somehow hand modeling leads to a craving for apples. Mostly an exercise in seeing how bad you are at hands quickly. Are you drawing along with me? The only way to get better is to just draw it. You got to get all the baddies out. So it's actually good. If you're drawing a bunch of hands and they're not coming out well, each one you do, you learn a little bit more. And I had a professor once, he says, it was for gesture drawing, for figure drawing, but it's the same for everything. It says, before you can draw one really good drawing, you got to draw like 1,000 bad ones. So let's just draw like a few dozen really bad ones really quickly right now, and that'll count towards our total, our quota for bad drawings. So get the baddies out. This is good for that, because it's just 1 minute for each drawing, and it doesn't matter if they come out well or not, because after a minute you just move on to the next one anyway. And the act of doing that will it'll show up kind of subliminally. It's hard to notice the improvement, but I've noticed over time, just drawing, figure drawing. I spent 2 years just focusing on gesture, and now whenever I draw figures like out of my imagination, it's so much easier. It's so much quicker. I didn't really notice a change as I was doing the drawings, but something gets in your head, and you kind of just have that information in there. And then it'll just show up. But I think breaking it down into the simplest forms is the way to go in this kind of exercise. And not being precious with it. That's why I'm drawing in ink also, because it's like, I don't plan on erasing. There's no time for that anyway. And so it doesn't matter. Drawing in ink is liberating in this kind of scenario. It frees you up from having to worry about how precious you are. Oh, we got an ad. Back in 3 minutes. And please don't go nowhere. Ace Game Go, good. I'm glad that you're drawing along. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I think this is a fun exercise. And part of the reason that it's fun is because it's only 1 minute each. So like I say, if the drawing isn't going well, it doesn't matter. Like, it's no fun if you start drawing and it's maybe a 5 or a 10 minute pose, and right off the bat, things go poorly, and then you just kind of stuck in this thing for that long. But at 1 minute, just done, and that's that. Okay, this is the one I just did. It says there's 15 more seconds on here. I guess I panicked. But I think I got a lot of it in there. We'll flip the page over. And once again, for people just joining, this is 100 hands in 100 minutes. And I encourage you to draw along if you're into that sort of thing. Hands are one of the most difficult things to draw, I think. And they're also one of the most, it's one of the most important things. Somebody said, when you draw a picture, the audience will forgive anything except for the head and the hands. Because I guess when it comes to communication and stuff, that's what we see the most kind of clearly, perhaps. I'd also mention again that I'm using the website Line of Action. There are a few online websites like this with a timed reference. Line of Action is nice because they say that you can use it on live streams and stuff. But Quick Poses is another good one. See, that's the knife handle. So this is 1, 2, 3. Squeeze another finger in here. And here is the link if anybody's interested in doing this later on. Dark ones are especially hard since you're on mobile with a tiny screen. I like the ones with the black background. Wonder if it's better drawing it on with a tiny screen. I wonder if that makes the detail. It's like when you're drawing something and you blur your eyes so you can kind of get a better idea of the overall. It makes it easier not to get bogged down in the details. But then again, if it's impossible to see what the hand is doing, then that's no good. Sometimes things just are too ambiguous. 100 feet will be next. Yeah, I don't know about that. Ooh, let me hide my thing. I have to hide this. I don't know. I heard that Twitch has a weird foot policy, but maybe that's outdated. Actually, drawing feet is really fun because there's some really interesting shapes you get. Also, welcome back, Crochet. That was a quick one. Got 15 seconds. What am I going to do? You want to do Chimera, but you can't think of what 3 things to combine? Well, there's a few ways of coming up with it if you can't think of something. I have the deck of cards. Consult. Or I think sometimes count to 3 and whatever the first 3 things are entered in chat, we go with those. You can't think of something. There's other ways. If you want to do either of those methods, you can do that when this page is filled up. Chimeras are channel points redemptions. For those of you unfamiliar, save up your channel points and you can redeem it and choose what you want for your chimera, and then I'll mail it to you for free anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world that accepts mail, I guess. If you're, I don't know, if you're in some remote island stranded by yourself with only Twitch to keep you company, you might not be able to send it there. Yeah, the deck of cards are a good way. They're specifically made for chimeras. We're thinking of chimeras. You did that with Erson, it didn't go well? What went wrong? Did Ursa get a paper cut from the deck? Oh, the picks were not great? Well, we can do mulligans. Pause this again. Only 45 to go. I think in a lot of these, the key is finding this part. I think this is called it's either the thenar eminence or the hypothenar eminence. One of them is this part, and one of them is this part. And I think those are the keys, especially this one. Finding that seems to be really helpful in locating, kind of using that as a kind of piece of the map to find the other ones here. You don't think you can do 45 more? How many have you done? Yeah, it's not a requirement to do 100 of them. 100 is quite a lot. For me, because 100 is about the length of a stream. If I take breaks in between like this, so it works out well. But I think doing any number of 1 minute gesture drawings for hands and for figures is extremely helpful. You've done 34? That's awesome. That's a lot of hands. I'm not going to even try to do the math on how many fingers it is. Yeah, that's fantastic, Ace Gaming Girl. Over halfway, that's right. Seed. Pointing that part out reminded you of your dad and the scarring from when he got his torn. Oh, okay. Suddenly my hand's getting all wobbly. My drawings are just gonna turn to noodles. Ugh. That sounds unpleasant. Which part was it? The pinky side or the thumb side? And note to self: stay the heck away from chains. I'm going to interact with chains. Use my left. Oh, look at this one. Yeah, this one is tricky to see. It's just a hedgehog in disguise. Yeah, what is going on here? This looks like it's almost 2 fingers. Look at that, the pinky and the pointer finger. What are they doing? And when Patrick Jones, who is drawing instructor, a great artist, a former guest on this very live stream. Whenever he's demoing drawing hands, he often refers to the pinky as the maverick. Refers to the pointer finger as a maverick as well. They always do. The pinky especially always is doing different things off on its own. They're good maverick pose. How is that even connecting? The thumb and the part area, this part here, ugh, ruined his impression of the Fonz. That's right. He had a world-class Fonz impression before that. Almost looks AI. Yeah, it did kind of look AI, right? I'm pretty sure these are all photos. I've never come across an AI image on line of action or quick poses. At least not that I've been able to identify. Makes absolutely 0 sense on a tiny screen. It makes 0 sense on a big screen as well. Hey, Circuit, thank you. They are pretty net, aren't they? How's it going, man? Happy Thanksgiving. You get to go see the family. It's tricky to see those other fingers too. This year was a staycation. Airline tickets were wild expensive. You gotta fly? I would have thought you would take the train. Drive? Talking about expensive airline tickets. I will. 10 hours, drive is 5, plane is 45. Ah, I see. Sure was really had the thumb and middle fingers in the scissor loops and pointer and pinky resting on the loop. Yeah, it was just a strange kind of contortion, right? It looked unnatural, but I'm sure in better lighting and maybe from a different angle it would have made a little more sense. There's that pinky being a maverick again. French fry with thumbs. French fries with thumbs. Now, this one's probably tough to see on a phone. This one is small. Stranger danger, yes. Am I noting the negative space? When possible, Crochet. Time permitting. But yeah, it's a good reminder. Gotta use both. Oh boy. Go with the back. The figure's right hand. Another page. So, pause this for a sec. This is, so we got what, 32 more? Might have to refuel with more pie. Oh, Mike is a fan, I see. Yeah, this is hungry work. Doing these kinds of quick drawings. I find if I do this for a while, I start to get real hungry. A pie refuel, probably a good idea. a really unsafe way of holding scissors. I think of Chimera and TARDIS. Wasn't sure if I said TARDIS. Oh, the TARDIS, the ship, right? Hey, Music Mixer, welcome in. Eating pie while the first 60 were being drawn. Yeah, I'm doing 100 hands in 100 minutes. Yeah, just doing 100 1-minute gesture drawings. Try to improve at hands. Can we get a shout out for Music Mixer? I did not know until recently that Music Mixer is also a streamer. And we'll be streaming some graphic design. She says Sunday night Eastern time in the US. Yeah, I watched Stranger Things. I watched the first 3 seasons, I think. Haven't watched any lately, although probably should. They're finishing it up, right? Oh, you're making the design for the bowling team and the bowling league you're in. Oh, cool. What's the name of your bowling team? Last for coming out Christmas Day? You mean it's only you mean until December? Oh, the last, sorry. Last 4. You mean the last 4 of Stranger Things? Did one for your team, the Pin Busters. Now you gotta do one for the Alley Cats. I like the Pin Busters. Do the bottom of the two hands. Gonna do this one on a new page because there's not enough room for. Maybe I can do it really small. Try to draw both here. This is tricky to see there in the shadow. How that hand connects on the back side there. That. I looked at your folder that you shared of your designs, and of course was immediately drawn to at least the two that I saw, Boston Bruins logo. My beloved Bruins. from the closest thing I have to a hometown. Those are pretty cool. Enjoyed seeing your work in that format. And that's all posted in the Discord for anybody who's interested. Yeah. My 3-year-old was saying, Papa, which hand is rock and roll? Somehow she figured out that this was rock and roll. She was asking, what's this? I mean, I told her rock and roll, and so later she says, what's rock and roll? What hand? Showed her. You can do it. And then she says, when do you do this hand? I said, when you're listening to music that you really like, the music is really awesome, you can do this hand. So my hope is she'll be at school and they'll be singing like head, shoulders, knees, and toes or something like that. And she'll throw up the throw up the rock hands. We got a new chimera. All right. Let's pause to figure that out. There's 18 more of these. We got an ad coming up in 8 minutes. So good. On schedule here. Next stream is the Anders Zorn Artist Study stream. That will be Tuesday morning, Taiwan time, Monday evening, if you are in the Americas. And we got 3 chimeras now in the queue. The Highland Cow Thorny Devil Sugar Glider for Emma, and the Black Mamba Tarantula Poison Tree Frog for Potato Night. So that will be do the next one in December. Might do 2 in December. But that's Zorn Study. Looking forward to it. All right, moving back on. 18 more hands. And 5 minutes till ads. Probably a couple more. 4 more, I suppose. This is a difficult angle, I think. That was a tough one. More of this. These angles of these fingers here. This is good to see. Those 3 fingers that are together, how they're kind of all pointed inward. Yeah, tricky angle. Yeah, this one was really hard. Do one more, and then we'll take that ad break. Yeah, super long fingers. Yes, really, really like slender hands. I find be tricky. All right, let's see. Let us do it. That's the only thing you know how to say in Chinese. It's a start. I at this bit. Roche, thank you for the bits. Handy bits. That's right. Not handsy bits. Handy bits. That pinky again. Just separate. All right, again, here's that tricky one with the pointer finger touching the thumb. Is there any one thing I miss from the other countries I lived in? About the U.S., I miss Mexican food. Number one. Well, no, the number one is I miss my folks, my parents the most, and then Mexican food is a distant second. And strangely, I miss the banter at the convenience store. Like in the US, you go to the convenience store and people generally just will kind of make small talk with the cashier. The cashier would make small talk with you, depending on where you go and who it is. But if you try to do that here, they look at you like you're totally nuts. And it's one thing that you never think about, but a lot of the foreigners I know here kind of notice it. Like people here are super friendly, but not in that context. You know, the cashier at the 7-Eleven is just purely transactional. So I miss that. About Italy, I miss the language, because Mandarin is ridiculously hard. And Italian food, of course. But that's more than one thing, Kay. So sorry for ruining your question with my long-winded answer. Why do I live in Taiwan now? I came here in 2008. I was interested in experiencing life in another country. I had lived in Italy for 8 months, and it was an interesting experience, and I wanted to go somewhere even more different. And I was gonna stay for 2 years, but it turns out that this is like the best place in the world to live. They really have it together here. People are awesome. It is maybe the friendliest people in the world. They're super chill. And there's basically no violent crime. And healthcare is awesome. It's like socialized medicine, but there's no wait time. And it's really affordable. So that's cool. Oh, I missed the snow. I forgot to mention that. That's something I miss. Snow for sure. And I missed this hand. What the heck did I do? Let's give it another shot from the other side here. And Taiwan also has like all the freedom of speech and freedom of expression and all that stuff. So it's a good place to be an artist as well. And it was the first country in Asia with marriage equality. It's an interesting thing because the society in a lot of ways is very traditional, and in a lot of ways it's extremely progressive. Kind of a curious mix. Thank you, Crochet. You didn't do it for me. You should clip the part where I say that missing my folks is the thing I miss the most. Not the part where Mexican food came to mind. I've got a couple bags of avocados. I'm making guacamole over the weekend. I got Mexican food on the brain. There really is no good Mexican on this island, except in my kitchen, and that's just passable. Every time I visit the States, I just gorge on Mexican food. Minus the... Didn't ruin it. Hold on a sec. I gotta catch up on chat. So when I first came here, yeah, I was an English teacher. You can come here as an English teacher if you have the right passport and a bachelor's degree in anything. I have a bachelor's degree in fine art, in printmaking. So I started off. I picked Taiwan partly because, at least when I came here, you can teach 20 hours a week, and get your resident visa. And so I was doing 20 hours a week teaching and 20 hours a week in my studio as an artist. And then I gradually decreased my teaching hours and increased my studio hours as my career kind of got moving. And I spent 7 years teaching while building up my career. And then once I got my permanent residency, you can get your permanent residency after 5 years, at least at the time that I was looking for it. And so after I got my permanent residency, I retired from teaching and did art full time. So I have a permanent residency here. And when you get your APRC, your permanent residency, alien permanent residency certificate, you can do any job that a Taiwanese person can do. So I had thought about getting a job at 7-Eleven for 6 months so that my Chinese would get better. And just for the experience of it. Maybe I still will someday. How's the weather? It is hot and humid for half of the year and nice and comfortable the other half of the year. We just entered the comfortable time. Although there's no indoor heating in most places. So some people find it cold sometimes. I like the cold, so I enjoy it. But I think it's like 20 degrees right now. 20 degrees Celsius. That's like in the 60s. But it's a tropical island. How many more hands are left? 4 more. Yeah, the number's cut off because I tried to crop it so that I could make the reference larger. But yeah, it's and so that the timer would still show. The wife might have been missed benefit to it. Well, I got married. I met my wife after I was a permanent resident. So that had no bearing on staying or not. But yeah, that's a nice part as well. I mean, having a family here now is great. But not why I came here, not why I stayed. It's why I would have stayed either way, but definitely a bonus. And you get all the, like when you travel to a new place, especially when you want to live there, one of the reasons to go is to get all that sort of cultural experiences that you don't get as a tourist. But there's definitely a layer that you miss if you don't have a Taiwanese family as well. But having a Taiwanese family is nice because I get to experience like a lot of other stuff that I didn't experience when I was just living here by myself. Yeah, I did marry way up. Definitely crochet. Way up. I'm just a simple woodcutter after all. I think this might be the last one. This is either the last one or there's one more. There it is. How about that? High five. So the thing that I really have in my head is the importance of the thenar eminence or the hypothenar eminence. Whatever this shape is here, that was kind of my anchor going through a lot of these. Finding that was the key. Getting that shape of the hand is important. I saw fellow Twitch streamer, my colleague, Jim Lee. I saw him drawing hands once, and he was saying he draws it like a pentagon, because the knuckle here is higher up. But kind of keeping that shape in mind is a good one too. I think the importance of adding the wrist to all of these. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. Adding the wrist is kind of essential for getting the context of the hand better. Yeah, this shape here and this shape on the other side. Those were big. That was a fun one. Well, that was way easier than the 100 heads in 100 minutes. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This was a good time. I feel like I learned a lot. I think my hand drawing skills hopefully leveled up a little bit. You know, each time you draw one, you get a little better. Let's see. I will be back Tuesday, 10 a.m. Taiwan time. That is Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern if you're in the Americas. And we'll be doing the Anders Zorn artist study stream on next one. So please join me for that. We're going to be looking at some watercolors and trying to deconstruct and learn about why they're good, why they work well, why he's a genius. Check out my YouTube if you want more draw along videos, and all the other artist study streams are up there too. Patreon and Ko-Fi, $3 a month to see what I've been working on in the studio this past week. Hope you all have a good weekend. Happy Thanksgiving again to everybody, and wishing you all a good Black Friday. Get all the things.